Every business owner sooner or later runs into the same problem, a difficult customer. You know the type. They're unhappy no matter what you do. They send angry emails, leave vague one-star reviews, make accusations that aren't quite true, and sometimes just seem determined to wear you down. Now, it's tempting to think, let's just fire this customer and move on. And sometimes, that might be the right call. But in most cases, there's a smarter way to handle it, one that protects your reputation, supports your team, and actually strengthens your business over time. What we're talking about today is how to deal with difficult customers without firing them. Because here's the truth. Challenging customers aren't always bad customers. They may be confused, frustrated, misinformed, or reacting emotionally to something they don't fully understand. And if we can manage those situations with confidence and clarity, we don't just salvage a relationship, we create an opportunity to improve how the business runs. But let's be honest, it's not easy. These conversations are rarely pleasant. They can throw off your entire day. One harsh email in your inbox and suddenly your focus is gone, your energy's drained, and your team is looking to you for answers. So how do you navigate it? How do you handle a situation where the customer is wrong, the tension is high, and your instinct is to walk away? That's what we're going to walk through together. Let's start by challenging an old idea, the phrase, "the customer is always right." That phrase might sound good on paper, but in practice it can be misleading and even damaging. Because while customers can be right, and often are, they're not always right. Sometimes their expectations are based on assumptions. Sometimes they misread your policy or forget a conversation, and sometimes they just don't want to take responsibility. If we accept every claim at face value just to keep the peace, we actually do more harm than good. We train customers to bypass process, ignore terms, and escalate unnecessarily, and that's not sustainable. So let's take a smarter approach. Let's start by protecting one of your most important business assets, your mental focus. When a difficult customer reaches out, don't respond immediately unless you absolutely need to. Timing matters. If you've got an important meeting, a high-focus project, or a performance review coming up, protect your energy. Schedule the response. Build space around it. But if the complaint is weighing on your mind and it's keeping you from focusing on everything else, address it first thing and move forward. What we don't want is to let one issue cloud your entire day. Now, before you even pick up the phone or open your email to reply, ask yourself a key question. What's the ROI on this relationship? That's not a cynical question, it's a practical one. Some customers bring in big revenue, but drain twice as much in time, effort, and emotional cost. Others may not bring much money at all, but they consistently create stress for your staff. If you're putting in more than you're getting back, that's worth paying attention to. You don't need to fire them, but you do need to decide what your limit is. What's the red line that once crossed means the relationship needs to be restructured or ended entirely? Knowing your threshold makes the tough conversations easier to navigate because you're not making emotional decisions. You're following a clear business principle. Once you've made that assessment, it's time to prepare. This next step is crucial. Get your facts straight. That means pulling up emails, service logs, transaction records, whatever is relevant. You need a clear picture of what happened and when. Here's why. Most customer complaints are communication breakdowns. Maybe they misunderstood what was included. Maybe they forgot a conversation. Maybe they're selectively remembering details. Or maybe, and this does happen, they're misrepresenting the facts to cover their own mistake. A common example? A customer insists you never sent a quote. You know you did. So you respond, "We sent it." But that's vague. They can argue with that. A better response? "We emailed the quote on Monday, April 12th at 9:47 a.m. You responded to that email on Tuesday, April 13th at 1:29 p.m. confirming the details." Specifics stop arguments in their tracks. They shift the conversation from emotion to fact. Now, when the actual conversation starts, whether it's by phone, email, or in person, here's the golden rule. Listen first. Don't interrupt. Even if what they're saying is incorrect, even if you've heard it before, let them talk. Here's why that matters. First, they may actually share useful information you didn't know. Second, letting them vent often takes the edge off their frustration. And third, It shows respect. That goes a long way in keeping the conversation calm and productive. And once they've said their piece, you can start responding. Now here's where it's important to strike a balance. You want to be calm and professional, but firm. Don't just agree to keep the peace. And don't overreact or push back too hard. Just state the facts, clearly and respectfully. And don't be afraid to repeat yourself. In fact, sometimes you'll need to. Difficult customers often bring up the same issue again and again, hoping you'll eventually give a different answer. So if a customer says, "You never sent the quote," and you explain that you did, don't be surprised if they bring it up again 10 minutes later. Don't take the bait, just calmly repeat your earlier point. As I mentioned earlier, the quote was emailed on April 12th, and you confirmed receipt the following day. Repetition isn't rude, it's reinforcement. Here's another tip. Escalate your explanation gradually. You don't have to start with your full case right away. Let's say the client says, "I didn't get the quote." You respond, "I see that it was sent." They push back, "No, I really didn't get it." You then add, "We emailed it on April 12th at 9:47 a.m. They continue, "Well, I never saw it." Now you respond, "Actually, I see that you replied on April 13th confirming the details." That's called keeping your powder dry. You add to your case as needed. That way you stay in control, and you match their energy without escalating it unnecessarily. Now let's talk about staying focused. Some customers will bounce from topic to topic. First it's the missed email, then the late call, then the tone of someone on your team. That's not productive, so don't follow them down every rabbit hole. Set the target. Let's stick to one concern at a time. You mentioned the quote. Let's settle that, then we can look at anything else. This brings clarity and limits the drama. And once the main issue is resolved, make sure to close it before moving on. Get them to agree, "Okay, that part's clear." That simple checkpoint prevents them from circling back later and reopening the same issue. Here's something else to consider. Some customers aren't just difficult, they're habitual. Every month they find something new to complain about. If you notice a pattern, document it, track the interactions, look for repeat behavior. That doesn't mean you label them a problem customer, but it does mean you prepare differently. For these clients, it may make sense to formalize the relationship. You might offer a service-level agreement that outlines response times, communication channels, or escalation procedures. You can even set regular check-ins to proactively reduce issues. In some cases, just giving structure to the relationship eliminates 80% of the friction. If you're finding value in this approach, calm, strategic, fact-based, please give this video a like and subscribe. We're building a channel that's grounded in operational clarity and real-world business resilience, not buzzwords. Let's talk through a couple of real-world examples. A marketing agency had a client who insisted their campaign wasn't performing. They claimed no leads had come in. The team checked the data, and it turned out the client hadn't followed up with the leads that had been generated. The agency calmly presented the call logs and timestamps, offered suggestions for follow-up, and moved the conversation forward without defensiveness. Another business, a SaaS company, kept getting tickets from one customer about system failures. But when they investigated, it was clear the issues were all user errors. Instead of blaming the client, they created a custom onboarding video that walked through the exact steps they'd been missing. The complaint stopped, and the client actually became one of their most vocal advocates. That's the kind of turnaround that's possible when you handle things professionally. But sometimes the behavior crosses a line. If a customer becomes abusive, makes threats, or disrespects your team, that's where you draw the boundary. In those cases, you escalate internally. Bring in a senior team member or a customer success lead. Keep the tone calm but firm. Document everything. And if needed, initiate a clean break. Even then, you can end on a professional note. We appreciate the opportunity to work with you, but we're no longer the right fit. We'll refund your remaining balance and close the account as of this date. No drama, no back and forth, just closure. Now, if you're finding that difficult customers are becoming a pattern in your business, not just a once-in-a-while issue, it might be time to look at your systems. Are your policies clear? Is your onboarding thorough? Are your teams aligned in how they communicate? That's where operational excellence comes in. And we've put together a free book that walks you through how to eliminate friction points from your business. It shows you how to identify the bottlenecks, fix the weak points, and create systems that prevent problems before they start. Click the link in the description and we'll send it straight to you. It's the kind of resource that can transform the way you deal with customer challenges, so your business runs smoother and you stay focused on growth. And if you're ready to take that even further, we've developed a full course that walks you through the step-by-step process of building a business that runs efficiently, with or without you in the room. It's designed for small to medium-sized business owners who want freedom, focus, and sustainable growth. Click the next video on your screen or the link in the description to learn more about how to create that kind of business. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.